Hey guys, what's going on? Jeff here from Films at Home, and today I've got another entry in the Is It Worth an Upgrade series for 4K Blu-rays. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Marvel classic, Howard the Duck. Maybe not a classic to everybody, but a lot of people had nostalgia for this movie, and clearly, Marvel, Universal, they thought it was going to sell enough copies on 4K, and they put it out here. So one of the least expected 4K releases that I had ever seen come across in different announcements. I really didn't expect Howard the Duck to get the 4K treatment, but we're going to dive in here, talk about visual, audio, special features, packaging, and whether or not this one's going to be worth an upgrade for your collection. So jumping right into the visuals on Howard the Duck, this was shot in the 80s, shot on film, executive producer George Lucas. It has lots of great practical effects, which is always very good for 4K. The old visual effects and the optical effects that happened in the 80s, 90s, they don't translate very well to 4K, so I love stuff with practical effects, which Howard the Duck has. And I really wasn't expecting this one to get a 4K release, but I have to say, after watching it, I'm pretty happy that it did. This was a really good transfer. I really enjoyed the way that this looked, especially compared to the previous Blu-rays that were out there. The previous Blu-rays were very warm, and they were almost like they had this orange, red, and this is common with Blu-rays. They tended to do this color grading. Orange, red, very warm color grading. And this really corrects that with an HDR10, no Dolby Vision, but a new HDR10 4K scan. Things are looking much better from a color grading standpoint, as you'll see in some of the screenshots. But the detail and quality of this release is also really crisp. It really looks nice. I thought that they did a great job with the scan. Universal did an excellent job here. Everything was like almost, it was so detailed that it shocked me, because I remember watching the Blu-ray. The Blu-ray was nothing special. The movie's really, it's nostalgic for some people, but the movie's really nothing special. But it had a high enough budget, and they clearly retained the source materials well enough that this is one of the better looking 4K discs that I've seen out there. It has a high bit rate. It has really good quality transfer, up there in the 70-80 megabit per second range, which is nice. And overall, I was just really pleased with it, and I think it's a massive improvement over the Blu-rays that were available, which I really thought were poor and basically didn't look much better than a DVD transfer, in my opinion. The other thing this made me really excited about is I was looking at all the practical effects and how good they looked in 4K, and it made me so excited to get The Thing on 4K. It's supposed to be coming in the next few weeks. Can't wait to check that out, because God, practical effects look so much better when you do these transfers than the crap optical effects. It's just that's what they had in the 80s, in the 70s, 80s, 90s. It's all they had. But wow, the practical effects in this got me really excited for other movies like The Thing. So really looking forward to those, and hopefully they can stack up to Howard the Duck, because if The Thing can't stack up to Howard the Duck, I think we got problems over at Universal. The Thing should be one that they really take good care of. So fingers crossed for that. Now on audio, Howard the Duck previously had a DTS HD Master Audio 5.1 track. Pretty solid, nothing really, groundbreaking, but the dialogue was clear. It had some good surround effects. It has plenty of, action moments and a great score. But this upgrades to a DTS X. So if you don't know DTS X, that's sort of like it's less common nowadays than Dolby Atmos, but it's on that same level as a Dolby Atmos. It's an immersive soundtrack, object-based surround. It delivers a very similar experience, but it's just something to note if your receiver can't, decode the DTS X, or you're set up for Dolby Atmos, and, it's something to note, because it's definitely not as common as Dolby Atmos, but I still think it delivers a great experience, and sometimes superior experience to Atmos, in my opinion. So I was really happy with the audio here. That DTS X added a few extra, moments in the heights. The object-based surround helped kind of build the sound space a little bit better and improved the bass. Dialogue was still very clear. All the center channels, main speakers still came through bright and clear, but I thought that it improved surround a little bit, and those height speakers got a little bit of a workout, which is good, because previously they weren't. And so it's a decent audio release. I have no complaints about it. I wouldn't say it's a top 10 DTS X track, but at least we're getting upgraded audio here, and that's always something to look to when you're upgrading to 4K and deciding whether or not to pay the extra money. Are you getting visual upgrades? Yes. And are you getting audio upgrades? Yes as well. So double checkbox on Howard the Duck. Now, before we jump into packaging and special features, I want to thank HD Movie Source. They hooked me up with this copy. Check them out, link down in the description. They're a small family-owned physical media business. Message them for pricing. They'll work with you. They're set up for kind of international customers, which has been super helpful for people, overseas who are trying to get US releases. They've done a great job with that. But if you're in the US, message them on pricing. They can work with you. The site may be a little high on pricing when you get there, but they're a great family-owned small business that I support. So check out their link down in the description, and thanks to them again for supporting my channel and supporting physical media as a whole in this community. So packaging here, pretty standard. You got the 4K slip cover, you got the 4K case on the inside, and then you do have a digital copy, which I've removed, and you get new artwork on the 4K disc. So, they did the whole package. They got you a slip cover, new artwork on the disc. That's all great. And then the special features that come with this, there is a look back at Howard the Duck, releasing the duck. There's a news featurette. There's featurettes on the stunts behind Howard the Duck, the special effects of Howard the Duck, and the music of Howard the Duck. So you know what? It's actually got pretty decent special features, even more so than some, titles that I've seen from bigger lines like a Paramount Presents. It's actually got a decent chunk of features. And so if that's your thing, you'll also be getting some benefit here. There's some nice stuff on the 4K and the Blu-ray disc that you can enjoy. So overall, Howard the Duck was not on my list of my most anticipated 4K releases. It was not one I was super excited for. I really wasn't sure how it was going to go. I thought it felt like a little bit of a cash grab, maybe from Marvel trying to capitalize on their popularity right now, and Universal trying to take advantage of that. But at the end of the day, this ended up being one of my most surprising 4K discs that I've reviewed, because I really liked it. I thought it looked really good. Now, regardless of what you think of the movie, that's a whole different story. But if you're craving that nostalgia and you like Howard the Duck, this 4K release is near immaculate. It's really, really nice from a visual standpoint. Audio is great with that DTS:X. You've got great special features. It's an overall really nice package, and for the price point, I think it's definitely worth upgrading over the Blu-rays, which were really, really poor. So I'll leave a link to Howard the Duck on 4K down in the description. If you want to pick that up, that helps support my channel, I would recommend picking it up. It's a really fun movie. It's a great one to watch, with kids or, with the family night, and get that kind of nostalgic 80s feel, and the 4K looks great. So I recommend it. Definitely go pick it up if you can. Check out your local video stores as well, but the Amazon link supports me, so I appreciate that. Also, check out all the other links down in my description, social media links where you can find me and get in touch. Make sure you subscribed and like this video so others will see it. I really appreciate all the support there. And other than that, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Stay safe, stay healthy out there. Looking forward to doing more 4K reviews. So I'll talk to you guys soon.